Welcome to our work session today, our pre-council meeting. Starts at 4:30 today on March 10th of 2026 here in the Lehi City Council chambers. We welcome all guests who are with us today. Also welcome all staff who's with us today. We do have a full council. Councilmember Newell, Councilmember Harrison, Councilmember Freeman, Councilmember Stallings, and Councilmember Lockhart, and are grateful they're each here today. We will start our meeting today with an invocation that will be offered by Councilmember Newell.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for the opportunity we have to meet together tonight as a city council and as a city and be able to discuss things and make decisions that can help our city continue to be the great city that it is. We're so thankful, Heavenly Father, for the opportunity we have to serve and for those who serve with us, for our staff, for our first responders. Please bless them, Heavenly Father, along with our residents, that they may be safe and protected, and know that we support them and honor them and are so grateful for all the service that they provide to us. Heavenly Father, we ask that Thy Spirit be with us throughout this meeting, that we'll be able to listen to each other and understand each other, to show empathy and be able to act in the way that Thou would have us act as Thy children. And we say these things in Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilmember Newell. Okay, first thing, we will start on Roman numeral 2, number 1. We'll have a presentation report on the 2100 North Freeway and Pioneer Crossing flex lanes. Update by UDOT. If you'll just state your name when you get there, and we'll welcome you.
I'm always concerned about whether things are working appropriately. Can you guys see that? There we go. Mr. Mayor, members of the council and staff, my name is Andrew Jordan. I am the project director for the Northwest Utah County Project Program for UDOT. We felt that now was the appropriate time, right before we get started with major construction on 2100, to come and introduce ourselves to the new members of council and the new mayor, and give you guys an update on where we're at on our program. For those of you that don't know, our program for the Northwest Utah County consists of a series of projects. Some of you might know these very closely. The first one I'll speak to is the Mountain View Corridor project that we just finished in December. That project was from 2100 North up to Porter Rockwell. We were required to do that one first before we could start the freeway portions on Mountain View Corridor. We needed to make that connection. We were able to complete that project 4 months ahead of schedule and open that to the public right before Christmas. We're very excited to have that open and have that additional capacity between Salt Lake and Utah counties. The next couple projects I'll speak to are 2100 North and Pioneer Crossing. Those are in our program, as well as the freeway portions of Corey Ride and Mountain View Corridor from 2100 down to SR 73. And then future unfunded projects that will be part of our program are Mountain View Corridor South and Saratoga Springs, and Corey Ride Phase 2 out towards Eagle Mountain. Those are all freeway projects. So as you can see on the map, we have several projects and a large investment in the area. The goal for our program, the Northwest Utah County program, is to provide that one-stop location for the public or council or really anyone to find all the information on what's going on with these projects. So if you go to the website that's on the screen currently, you'll be able to drill down into any one of those projects to get additional details and schedule. The first project we're going to highlight is Pioneer Crossing Flex Lanes project. I'm going to actually have my construction manager, Jeremy Bound, give an update on where this project's at and what's to come.
Thank you. Mayor, council, staff, Jeremy Bound with UDOT, Design and Construction Manager, part of the Northwest Utah County's program team. So Pioneer Crossing, if you are in Lehi, you are probably aware of this and have seen seen it. So we are under construction now and on schedule, looking to be able to, from Redwood Road to I-15, looking to be able to have the 3 lanes in each direction capacity later this spring, hoping May timeframe, and it's looking like the contractor is on schedule for that. And then once we get that capacity built, we'll move to the next part of that project, which is adding the signals and such, so that we can do, as shown on the screen here, the flex lanes portion of that. Schedule is to complete that portion of the project by the end of this year. And so with that, not only will we go from having 2 lanes in each direction currently to the 3 lanes I spoke about later this spring, but then with the flex lanes and those signals, we'll be able to shift during the peak hours, 4 lanes in the peak direction and 2 lanes in the non-peak direction, and then midday shift back to 3 and 3. So as shown on the screen here, I do have a video. I'm not sure it's going to work, so I probably won't jump over to that, but you can get that from the website that Andrew has shown earlier if you want to see that video. And then here's what it looked like before, cross-section with what it'll look like in the future. So we'll have those overhead signs helping you to see what lanes you can or should not be in. On the previous slide, if you were reading, it said something about left turn restrictions. This kind of helps show that, right? If we were in the process of shifting this, what is currently the left turn lanes in the center, that would turn to a yellow X saying don't go into that lane. We're in the process of shifting lanes, and then move you over to where it's supposed to be as that shift happens. So just pay attention to the signals overhead when we get this opened up. As I said, so the major improvement is the flex lane system between I-15 and Redwood Road. We'll also be adding additional westbound lanes between Redwood Road and the Mountain View corridor, so that in the evening when there's 4 lanes coming from I-15, it just doesn't go 4 to 2 and then continue to back up. There's actually lanes to capture that traffic and keep them moving through Lehi and off into the further west. So that project will start. We should be advertising for the contractor on that phase of the project here in the next couple weeks, and that one is also scheduled to complete by the end of the year. So all work on Pioneer Crossing should be complete the fall of this year. So yeah, so construction's underway and we're on track for that substantial completion. So, and I'll give it back to Andrew, I believe, for the rest of the update. Thank you.
Yeah, the only thing that I might add to what Jeremy said is the reason we went with the flex lanes concept here is we're able to provide that capacity within the existing footprint of the existing corridor, right? And that's the largest benefit we could have, right? We're using the existing pavements out there. Actually, the contractor is recycling a lot of that concrete that they've pulled out to install drainage and stuff, and there is also recycling that back into the pavement section as well. So we're reusing a lot that's on that corridor, and with minimal impact. We're not buying a lot of additional right-of-way or acquiring additional properties there. So that's a huge win for us on this concept, and it really works well with the way that the traffic flows work in this corridor. Is there any questions on that real quick?
Yeah, I have a question. I see that the lanes look like they're going to go down, like a standard, from what I understand from our streets department, a standard lane is 12 feet, and it looks like they get, some of them, it says 11 to 12 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering what the speed limit is going to be, because from my understanding, with smaller lanes, it's typically a little bit of lower speed, just because to control the car from, I don't know. What is your prediction?
So we are planning on reducing the speed limit on the corridor to account for there's no longer going to be a shoulder on the edge and the reduced lanes. So we actually are reducing that. Is it 40 or 45? So we set the construction speed limit, but that speed limit will maintain once we're done at 40 miles an hour.
Can you go back one slide? Here? Maybe one more. Okay. So at what point, sorry, the one with the map showing. So from Mill Pond Road to I-15, when is that planned to be modified?
So we will be modifying that as part of our project to line that up for the additional lanes. So we will be continuing that over to I-15.
Okay.
So there will be some median modifications and get you into the right lane assignments, getting ready to go into that flex lanes corridor.
Okay. And then for the lighting, I know there's been some questions by the public on how dark it is, especially when it rains and everything reflects and you can't really see. What type of street lighting is going to be installed? Is it going to be like LED, low profile, or and then will that be installed before those lanes open?
So a lot of the lighting infrastructure that we're going to be put in will be in line with the gantries that we're putting in for the lane assignments, and that'll increase the lighting on the corridor along with that. So that'll all come online when we have all that infrastructure in place.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Any other questions? Very good. Next, 2100 North Freeway. We're ready to roll. Actually, our construction crews will be beginning some work along the corridor tonight. Will be some lane restrictions as we start making access into that median to prepare for work. The first areas of work you'll see are near the river. We got to do some work in there in preparation for the new bridges crossing the river, their new freeway bridges crossing the river. Before the increased flows happen in the Jordan River, we've been working in coordination with the River Authority to make sure that we get that work done so we're not impeding any flows from Utah Lake into the Jordan River and to points north. So that's going to be a major coordination point with our contractors. So you'll see a lot of work kind of in that area to start. We'll also be starting to work on grading out that median area in preparation for the freeway. But yeah, work starting tonight. So the concept for the 2100 North Freeway, you saw some of it that we completed in the Mountain View Corridor project is, lining that up for that freeway portion in the middle between the existing frontage roads. That'll continue where we left off over between Redwood and 3600. The freeway, if I'm traveling on the freeway headed east, we'll go over 3600. We'll come back down the grade as we cross over Waterbury and the Jordan River, and then we'll actually go under 2300 west there and under the railroad tracks. And after we come under the railroad tracks, we'll start to climb to come over Ashton and get up and over I-15 with direct system ramps onto I-15. So when we're complete, there'll be a nonstop from West Redwood Road onto I-15. Some of the other improvements, like I said, were the grade separations. We also have some trail improvements that we've coordinated with city staff. And those will be part of your work agenda, I believe, tonight. There's 2 co-op agreements that we're looking for approval from the city on. Let me see if I can get there. The first one is a co-op agreement. This is a tri-party agreement that we're doing between UDOT, Lehi City, and Utah County in coordination with major stakeholders and the city prior. We will be constructing a trail connection from the Holbrook Park, future Holbrook Park, the city park there behind the hospital, to the Jordan River Trail. As part of our project, we'll be constructing that. This will be a pedestrian bridge that the city will own and maintain, but it provides that connection between an already heavily used corridor of the Jordan River Trail into the park facility, and provide that connection across the river for those neighborhoods in that area, kind of around the UTA station and over towards the hospital. We are also building as a betterment the trail through the park property for the city as part of our project. Well, we have a contractor in there, so let's see, did I miss? That's kind of the main points on that cooperative agreement. Like I said, it's a tri-party agreement because there's connections between the Utah County Trail System, the Lehi Trail System, and UDOT right away. The second one that we're presenting is a co-op agreement for the rail trail bridge east of the UPRR tracks, in coordination with staff and the future project to bring that rail trail from the UTA station down into downtown. As part of our project, we're building that structure for the city. Shown here, it connects from the skate park over to that south side and connects into that future improved trail. I believe that the city has funding and is constructing in the coming years improvements there. So those are the two agreements. Those are some of the main coordination points we've done. We've done a lot of work with major stakeholders in the area, the Garv properties, the Hadco property and the access to his yard, as well as access in and out of the hospital. We've been working closely with the hospital to make sure that anything that we do, even during construction, is not impeding emergency services getting in and out of the hospital, as well as light flight coordination with the helicopters to make sure that as we have cranes and stuff in the area, that we're not that we have close coordination. They're aware of what we're doing and we're aware of what they need from us. So we're excited to start this project. General schedule, we're starting now. Plan to have this completed by the end of 2028. 3-year project, but yeah, we're excited. There's a lot to do here, and we've been working closely with staff. I got to commend the Lehi City staff and their coordination with us, and their willingness to work with us on a lot of things. So it's been a great partnership, and we wish to continue it over the next couple of years. And then upcoming for our program, we do have a funded project that we will be starting as soon as we finish 2100 North, and that will be the Quarry Ride and Mountain View Corridor freeways. We will continue, like I said, from 2100 North down to 73, build a system interchange there at 73 and Pioneer and Mountain View, and then continue that freeway and frontage roads out to Eagle Mountain, which will help pull a lot of that regional traffic kind of out of the local systems and really get it into a freeway system, which will be vastly different than what we're experiencing today. If you have any questions or would like to stay up to date, like I said, please visit our websites, and there's also the Facebook group where we will be posting construction updates, lane closure updates, and really anything you need, you should be able to get it between those two sites. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
I do. I've been told that you're redesigning the interchange between 2100 North and I-15. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, as part of that, are you going to reevaluate this sound study?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the noise study that we completed during our environmental reevaluation was based on the concept that we had. Our contractor that was selected based on their best value has a little bit different design to that interchange. And as part of that, we will be redoing the noise analysis. In the next couple months, we should have field monitoring going in place. And then as they complete the design, we'll be able to do that analysis on what meets those parameters, and we'll follow policy on how that works.
All right, so this design hasn't been completed yet?
Not
You're working
100%.
on it?
That area, we're between about a 30 and a 60% design. We want to get really through that 60% where we know that the profiles and the alignment and the number of lanes aren't changing, so that we have a very clear vision of what that looks like so we can run that noise analysis.
Okay. And the last analysis, it seemed like it would protect the people from the noise, but the cost was prohibitive kind of thing. And if I remember right, it was because of the geography or the terrain kind of thing. So do you have any idea right now if this new design might potentially bring the cost down, or is it too far out to tell?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell that right now. We would have to go through the analysis.
Okay. Cross my fingers again.
Would you mind going through the bridges and then going under again? I think I missed a part where, so 3600 West will have a bridge.
So we'll be going over 3600 with the freeway.
Yeah.
So the freeway over 3600. So that intersection essentially stays the way it is today. We will be doing improvements there to accommodate the city's plan of a widening for that. So that bridge will accommodate future widening of 3600 north and south. There are things that we're doing to be in line there. So that's 3600. And then we go over Waterbury, which is a future city street connection that we're preserving. Then over the river, then under 2300.
So after the river, you're going to start the decline down. I guess I drive this road multiple times a day. So the one that concerns me the most is the rail, right? Going under the rail. And so you're starting the descent at 2300 West, or a little before, because you have to go under 2300 West, then the rail.
Yeah, so the frontage roads currently go under the railroad.
Right. I think just at high speeds. In my mind, it just seems like we're going to be doing this. Does that make sense? So that's why I'm
Yeah,
asking.
so actually what happens is when we come across the river, we don't climb to meet 2300. If today it kind of climbs to meet 2300, we actually stay flat or fairly flat to go under 2300, or even actually depress just a little bit to go under 2300 and then go under the railroad and then start coming up to go over I-15.
Okay, so how will that impact the on and off of the frontage roads?
Is my whole screen sharing? Evidently not. Let me see if I unplug, if it replugs. So, let's see if that rejoins it.
I guess I'm just imagining people flying down this at 80 miles an hour, which is hopefully not what they're doing.
So the speed through here, it will be set as a 65 mile an hour speed for the corridor, just because of the proximity of the system interchanges between each other. We only have just under 3 miles between the two. There will be system ramps or slip ramps. You already see the two that we installed with the previous project at tie-in before 3600. There'll be another set to go on just east of 3600.
I have a question to piggyback on that. So
Yeah.
the front existing roads that are there now are basically, isn't my understanding, they're going to be frontage roads?
Yeah, they're the
Okay.
one-way frontage roads. They'll handle the local traffic.
And they'll kind of just stay the same how they are?
Yep.
Okay.
And aren't we going to be able to slip on and off, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be able to like get off at 2300 and then get back on. So they'll provide that. can just think about it. If it doesn't work, I'll just dream it.
I was trying to.
Trust me,
yeah.
I've been dreaming about this road for years. So it's
I was trying to share it. We have KMZ that we could provide to staff with the preliminary layout, but there will be additional ons and offs as we move through the corridor. Like I said, you'll have the offs at 3600. You'll have another set of offs from the freeway to the frontage roads between 3600 and Waterbury. And then between Waterbury and the river, you'll have a set of on-ramps to go, well, depending on which direction you're going. But, yeah, there's a series of connectivities that we're going to have slip ramps on and off the frontage road throughout the corridor.
cool. Okay,
Yep.
Thanks. Sorry for the tough questions.
No, I wish I could show you because it's right here.
Yeah.
But you can see me afterwards or
Okay.
just reach out. My information, or you can reach, our PI group. I believe we are updating the map on our website that will actually show this as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Can you explain Ashton, what that will look like? So if they're coming from Ashton direction, will they just need to get on I-15 or go? There's no connection to it there, is that right?
So the existing southbound ramp that you use today
Yeah.
between Ashton and State Street remains in place.
Okay.
So if you came around Ashton and you wanted to go southbound, that one's there. Trying to think.
What if you're going north?
If you're going north, you would have to go the way that you would today underneath the I-15 12th West and get on the frontage road and then get on the same way you would today from Ashton.
And if you wanted to go Ashton to Redwood, you could go, I guess, under and use frontage road? Like, that would connect?
You would go underneath the freeway and make a left, the same as you would today, essentially. Do you want to see if yours works? Because mine's not sharing. Let's try it. Hey, there you go. Kelly Ash is my design and construction manager for 2100 North. Do you want to run through some of the accesses for the council?
Sure. All right.
Oh, you moved it.
Oh, I did something. Okay. I'll start over here at Redwood and just work our way over so you can see where we're tying into the existing, or the pavement we just built and the bridges we just built here at Redwood. This is your connection now back to the frontage road, and those will stay in place as ramps, but we'll build the freeway down the middle. This is 3600 West. And then you'll have an exit ramp here to go to 2300 West going eastbound. Going westbound, you'll have an on-ramp to get onto the freeway from the frontage road. And then these are the ramps between Waterbury. This is the grade separation at Waterbury. And then the river, there'll be these slip ramps here. And then you have 2300 West right here. Again, you got an on-ramp right there that gets you on to the freeway part, and then an off-ramp gets you off to access 2300 West. And then here's the full system interchange, full grade separation at Ashton Boulevard, and then the direct freeway to freeway flyover ramps that access the I-15. So
for the entrance into, I guess, Hadco, is that going to be pretty seamless? Because I know before they were worried they'd have to go down and flip a U-turn, right?
Yeah.
And ideally they can just slip right into their property. Is that on track?
yeah, with the new interchange design here, this will be basically access as it exists today at Ashton. So.
Thank you. I live in Holbrook Farms. We're so excited. So thank you so much.
Any other questions? Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, item 2, Civic Center art installation discussion. Mr. Steve.
Okay, now we can talk about fun stuff. No. So as we started building the Civic Center, we started talking about art and how are we going to make this more than just a city hall, more than just a library, and make it for a place that people want to come. We've done several different options in that, as you guys have seen it. We have the community spaces. We have a lot of pretty areas. We want to make this an inviting building. So when we started down the art path, we hired a consultant through Heritage Arts Foundation. They work out of Alpine Arts Center. In connection with one of the sculptors that we've had do several things for us in the city, the Infant Cemetery Monument, as well as the one of the monuments over here at the Legacy Center. We walked them through the building and said, okay, these are the spaces that we would like to fill. These are the things that we'd like to see. Understand that we want mostly local artists in the building. We want people that mean something to our area and to Lehi. And so in doing that, they've done a great job so far. We've got a lot of the art going in. But this area that you see on my screen there is the main foyer. Right as you come in, we've got this great big wall. The sculptor is the one that we've got these concepts from. His name's Scott Stredbeck, and he, like I said, he's done a lot of different work for us. So got a good relationship with him with the city. So he said, hey, let me take a stab at a couple different ideas for you. And so these are some of the ideas that he's brought back to us. This one, some of my feedback was, this is a library space, but it may not always be the full library space. So I love the kids, I love the idea, I love the concept, but we want to make it more broad. He brought this idea saying, okay, well, we could do some sort of a wildlife theme. That was kind of a miss for me. It's a really cool idea, but not right. And then he brought this one. So this, the name on it, we'll have to change that for other reasons, but this to me kind of stood out, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I could go down this path. And if you look up into the tree, well, in fact, let me get out of this portion and kind of read the mock-up that they've done. And I don't read in public, so bear with me. At the heart of Lehi New City Hall and Library stands a soaring 15 to 20-foot work of bronze set inside a building, grand central tower, and lobby. The piece will not just simply decor the space, it will embody the spirit of Lehi itself, just as the tower anchoring the civic presence of the building. The central sculpture, again, the name's wrong, presents the living tree rising upward with quiet strength, its trunk anchored deeply within the branches, reaching wide and welcoming. The scene invites reflection to pause, breathe, and remember who we are. At the base of the tree, two youths sit together in conversation. Their posture expresses not only belonging, but also the idea of every new generation finds wisdom and ground itself in the stories that came before. Sorry, I was trying to scroll down. Within the leafy canopy clusters, visitors can view subtle woven themes and reflection elements of Lehi's past, present, and future. The images will intentionally be understood, never dominating, never demanding attention, yet present of those who know what they're looking for. So, if we go back to the other, you can see the highlighted green pieces up in there. As you zoom in, you can see a microchip in there. You can see library books. You can see an American flag in there. Up in the top left corner, you can see the emblem of a rodeo, of the rodeo themes. You can see some of those ideas. so going back to it, I think what the overall ask and question for tonight and for this council is, we're down the road on this. If this is something you guys would like to pursue, we can continue down this road. If it's not, we can change direction. If you would like to see something completely different, or if you would like to see nothing at all, that's also an option. For funding on this, the statute is estimated at about $220,000 because it is a bronze. I'm going to mess up the name of it. Anyway, but it's a relief. So basically it sticks out from the wall a foot or two up at the top, and then down at the base, the intent would be have the children as full-size statues. And so it would come out into the breezeway 3 to 5 feet. But it has a very cool intent behind it and feel. We do have a little bit of funding left over from the art installations in the project from our original budget that we could potentially go through. The other portion is we are looking for public donors to go towards this as well. If it's something that you would like to see accelerated, we would have to find out a funding mechanism that you would like to put towards it. But I think mostly what we want is this a good path to go down? Is this kind of what a good vision that you would like to see?
I think it's a great vision for the space. I love the theme of the tree. I think that's something that's pretty universal. I would love to see going down the path of see what we can do with private donors, because, I think it's great we have some leftover funds, but it is a pretty big ask. Yeah.
Well, and realistically, the leftover funds we have is a scratch in the surface. It's not like we're going to go very far. But we want to make sure you guys are okay with it before I go start peddling. And they are willing to help with some of that. Making sure, they brought in a company 2 weeks ago and said, are you guys willing to do this? And I went, hold on, we've got to make sure you guys are on board with this before we get too far down that road.
Yeah, I think there's a lot we can do with naming rights, with donors, with things like, I think there's wealthy families who would love to have something like this that is, they have given it. So I think there's a lot we can do here and throughout the city. So I think that's a great way to pursue.
I think it is a really cool idea. I would be fine with something simpler also, and with nothing at the time. It's a really cool building. It's a really cool space. I understand naming rights, but I think that this building will take a lot from the people of Lehi just to pay for in general, and I'm hesitant to put more money towards anything at this time. And I think we could, I understand we have some artifacts, some things that are stored that are maybe Americana or some of our heritage, and maybe you're already utilizing some of those, but even like a simple American flag for me would be sufficient.
Great.
Obviously private donors, that'd be great if we could go down that path as far as possible. I like the design. The Roots and Branches,
it's a podcast, a local podcast.
But
name as well.
are we going to put any words
We'd
there?
have to.
Or
So
is it just gonna be
realistically,
a tree?
this is a rendering. This is
Okay.
something that none of this is sticking. This was his ideas. This was,
Okay.
this is my sketch. This is what we'd like to do. If and when we get funding, if the donations start amounting up to about half of it, he can start the actual renderings. He can actually, and then at that point, we would bring it back and say, what do you think about this, and do more of a formal. I think really what I need is making sure that you guys are okay with us pursuing funding, pursuing donations, and this is kind of the concept that we would show during those times.
Steve, I like the direction this is going myself. I think it'll be beautiful, but I'm with the other council members that it's a lot of money.
Yeah, it
We
is.
spend a lot already, but I guess we want it high quality. So I'd love to have private donors. We a while ago, we had a group come in that offered to donate bronze statues.
Same group.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
They won't donate this one to it?
They were doing the same, very similar for those bronze statues. So basically, they were going out finding donors for that park to say, would you like to do this? They haven't been very successful on that end of it. They have been very successful in other areas. I think it's just, you got to get the right person for the right thing. I really do think that this one would probably take more traction than those did.
Yeah. And Heather, I'm not sure naming rights for
Oh, I
not
just
the
mean-
building, right? But
Not the
just-
building, no.
Okay.
I'm just thinking like in general, there's ways where we can do some great things if we could sell naming rights or have where the donor would have a plaque attached to it.
Recognition.
Yeah,
Okay.
recognition, yeah.
And
that's
that, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And frankly, that's fully the intent. If we get a donor for this, it would be
A plaque.
plaque
Yeah, if we're gonna-
donated by X.
Name the Civic Center, I'm thinking way higher than
Yeah,
a quarter
yeah,
million.
that'd be something.
Well,
I
I
would
I
I'd
don't
be
know
happy
if
to go
I
down that
want,
path, yeah.
yeah, a name on their city
Yeah.
hall, but yeah, and if multiple donors, they can all
Right.
be recognized or something. So yeah, I think that's a good direction to go.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just chime in. I love the concept and echo the sentiments that we should pursue private funding as much as possible. And I love the idea temporarily of an American flag. I think that would be really pretty and quite a statement. So anyway, but in the long term, I'd love to see something like this if possible.
Great. So there is no timeline on this at all. This is more or less, we will be working on this in the background. So if anything happens, I'll give you updates. So, yeah.
If you're going to have a chip in there, you might be able to ask at least one company. in
So
Lehi.
that company has already donated about, I think there's 6 of them that is going in an art installation over there as well. So,
Great.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Okay, item 3, city goal and staff goal presentation. Bo is up.
Well, Cameron normally gives this presentation, so I'm your audible tonight. For the first little bit of this, I wanted to come back to our budget retreat conversation on our one thing goal, council's goal here. And this is kind of what's been put together. I'd like to take, maybe turn a little time over to Jason even to lead this discussion, but we'd like to take a little time to see if we're headed in the right direction or not on this. And I've got Ben and Mariah taking notes here, so if you guys want to see changes to this, we'd like to have just a little bit of a discussion.
So Cameron put this together, kind of synthesizing the feedback that he received from the council. Again, if there's feedback, we'd love to hear it. We probably could go on for hours on this, but for tonight, the interest of time, we wanted to keep it relatively short. But if there is additional feedback or direction that you'd like to give us, we're all ears. So, thoughts, comments, concerns?
I actually like it. Good job.
Now I'm nervous to ask a change, but any way that we could change the word supports to values. So foster a thriving family-centered community that values opportunity, safety, belonging, and a high quality of life. Therefore, removing the sense that Lehi City is out creating some form of a support, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I don't know. That depends on how the council feels. Maybe I'm being too nitpicky, but I think that would be good.
I can't remember what the other words were, but I had a similar feedback when I was given the options. But I think that support is a softer word than, I think some of them were like create or foster was one of them, or other things. So in my mind, I feel like supports is a good enough word. But I get what you're saying.
Any other thoughts, comments?
no idea how to fit this in, but I would like I don't know, some kind of recognition that we're here for our residents, that we value them. Supports. I mean, I guess the family-centered community kind of does that a bit. But I just feel that our role in city government is just to value our residents and kind of help them provide services for them. I don't know.
Would you like it if it said supports a thriving family-centered community that values opportunity, safety, belonging, and a high quality of life?
Maybe. I have no, again,
you
this
too.
would take hours, right, for me to come up with the wording. But,
What if we just put for our residents at the end?
yeah, something like that. Just remembering why we're here, what we're
Yeah.
doing this, who we're doing this for, kind of. I like that.
For
Thank you.
residents, and I don't know, we can play with it, but,
Yeah,
because we want to support those who commute here to work and
yeah.
recreate and shop here also, right? But,
And
yeah.
single people that are here. I don't know.
sure, yeah, so, yeah, maybe we can play with that idea a little bit. Okay. Anyone else comments? So what I'm sensing is that we're close.
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, if this was it, I'd give you an A++++.
Okay. Well, why don't we try one more time? We can play with that little ending and see what feels right. Okay. Perfect.
Thank you, Bill.
I actually got a
He's
little
got
bit more here.
Oh, Bo has more.
I wanted to recap kind of from budget retreat goals. So it's important to realize that all the goals that you guys put forth aren't going to be on this presentation. We tried to focus on the ones that had council majority. So that's what you'll see here. And I'm just going to kind of walk through those and show you how we as a city plan to support those goals. So Civic Center completion was one. The administrative department plans to develop a system for managing rentals of the community room, feature local artwork near the community room. Library will provide comprehensive training to staff on the new library to ensure efficient service delivery, adjust staffing allocations to maintain appropriate coverage across multiple service desks, restructure library programs to deliver high quality, accessible services for patrons across all age groups. Community outreach. Improve community outreach through a new website and monthly emails, promote city services, and provide news and updates on major projects. So administratively, we plan to promote the new website with its texting and email capabilities. Been told that's supposed to go live April 2nd. The library, engage residents through targeted email communications and social media platforms, expand outreach initiatives, ensure access to patrons unavailable to use the library in person. Literacy Center, improve marketing to reach additional students through school literacy nights and city events. And recreation, educate residents on the impact of recreation on families and celebrate 25 years of the Lehi Legacy Center. General plan update, implement changes to the general plan and city policies that are business friendly. So economic development plans to support that by creating the Lehi City Small Business Council and work with planning and zoning to make recommended changes to planning and zoning ordinances. Public safety, ensure public safety departments are adequately staffed. So the police department plans to recruit and retain highly trained public safety professionals. This will come in the form of budget requests and included in the mayor's tentative budget. Fire department plans to strengthen recruiting and retention programs, ensure employees have an opportunity to advance their skills and knowledge through mentoring and training. And justice court provide fair and transparent criminal and traffic proceedings where rights are preserved and appropriate consequences are imposed. Transportation was a big one that we heard. Improve vehicle and active transportation throughout the city. So community development will develop a long-term solution for 700 South Cycle Track,
coordinate with regional partners on the SR 92 pedestrian bridge, update the bike and pedestrian master plan. Engineering will expand 2300 West from Main Street to Pioneer Crossing with new traffic signals, additional lanes, and pedestrian trails. And Public Works will develop a priority-based sidewalk improvement plan, expand and improve bike lane connectivity. So then we get into kind of the future priorities, 3 to 5 years priorities, Parks and Rec.